video is all about hummus. If you've never had hummus before, it is a chickpea or garbanzo bean spread. They're the same thing. And it has sesame seeds or something called tahini, which is basically sesame seed butter, oil, lemon juice, salt, some spices, and in this case, since this is lacto-fermented, it has a lacto-fermented liquid. I'm going to use some brine from a previous hot sauce, which is super tasty. And you just kind of mix it all together, and that's how you make hummus. This hummus is like the super basic version. It tastes like hummus. There's not really a specific flavor. There's so many different ways you can spice it up. Some flavors that come to mind are garlic or roasted red bell pepper. I've heard of chocolate hummus. I'm not really eager to try that out in my kitchen, but if it's your thing, go for it. If you wanted inspiration, you can go to the hummus aisle at any grocery store. They have so many flavors. This is a great place to start, and I would just add whatever you wanted to this base recipe and you'll be good to go. A few of the ingredients have to be prepared beforehand. Obviously you have to cook the beans, and I sprouted mine, which takes a little bit extra too. You have to make the tahini, and then you're gonna need something that was lacto-fermented. So I use my hot sauce. If you have sauerkraut, some people use whey. I think that's a big one, but you can interchange it. So whatever you have for that, you can use. But all those things are gonna take some time, so hummus isn't something you can make the next day. It kind of takes a process, but it's definitely worth it. It is so tasty, and let's see how it's made. Here are my sprouted chickpeas before I cook them. And here they are cooking on the stove. If you can, reserve about a cup of this liquid and you can use it in your hummus. So put your chickpeas in the food processor, grind them down until they're a fine paste. You don't want any chunks in there. I've never heard of chunky hummus, and I don't want to be the one to start that trend. So just press it down as you go. Try to get all of the pieces ground. As you can see, I added too many for my small processor. So I took some out to process in 2 separate batches, and then I'm going to process the rest. So this is what you're looking for. Everything smooth, everything uniform, a beautiful looking start to the hummus. So in the bowl I have all my beans mashed down. Now I'm going to add the tahini. This is about a 1/4 cup. So next is the lacto-fermenting liquid. I'm using hot sauce brine from a previous fermenting. You can use many different things here. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, best if it's from a fresh lemon. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. You can use any oil you want. Olive oil might give it a bit of an olivey flavor. If you're into that, that's cool. Otherwise, you're going to want to go with a neutral liquid oil. I don't know about coconut oil. It might be a little too solid. And then you're just going to mash it in and mix everything really, really well. If you wanted to put it back in your food processor, you could. I kind of didn't because it's a lot, and I figured I could just mash it by hand. It did take a little bit of time, but that's what I do here in the Real Food Test Kitchen. I take my time, so just get it until it's a nice uniform consistency. Everything's blended well. Now I'm getting the liquid I reserved when I cooked the beans, and I'm just going to use it to get the right consistency. If you didn't reserve any water, that's fine. You can just use plain water, salt water, any liquid you want to thin it out. Here I'm adding probably about a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And here is about a half teaspoon of salt. I would recommend a teaspoon. Mine was a little not salty enough. And again, just incorporate everything really well. Now everything's mixed, I'm just going to flatten it out, and I'm gonna try to get all the air bubbles out as possible. Once I got everything smoothed out, I put a small layer of brine mixed with reserved bean water. The recipe said to put oil on top. I just decided these liquids would be fine and just see what happened. So now I'm going to try it and see how it tastes. If it's not quite sour enough, I'm gonna let it go maybe a couple more days. But if it's pretty tangy, I'll put it in the fridge. As you can see, the top liquid is all absorbed and the air pockets are forming, which means it's active. It tastes really good. I think it could use at least 24 more hours. So here's the hummus 36 hours after that. It has a lot more activity, a lot more air pockets. It's looking a lot more active, so I'm going to taste it and see how it goes. It's definitely sour enough. Salt-wise, I would add a little more, but the flavor is great. It tastes like hummus. I'm quite pleased. So I'm going to call it finished. That's how you make hummus. If you do make it, it is so worth your time. It's tangy, it's hummusy, so good. If there's anything you think I should make next or something I can improve on in my videos, comment down below. And I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Bye.